All right, DAFE is about keeping the system alive when things go wrong. Not smarter, not faster, alive. I'll explain it in simple language, then compress it into one memory story you will not forget in the exam. Day 5, Resiliency plus cross-region strategies. This is where AWS separates demos from production. Big idea, one sentence. You assume models will fail, regions will wobble, and traffic will spike, and you design so users still get something. Retry backoff, don't panic, hit the button. What retry means, if a model call fails once, you try again, but not instantly. Backoff means you wait a little longer each time before retrying. Why? Models throttle, APIs spike, instant retries make things worse. Exam rule, retry with exponential backoff, infinite retries. If the exam says avoid overwhelming downstream services, retry backoff, rate limits, protect the system from itself. What rate limiting does? It caps how many requests, per user, per second, per API key. Why AWS cares. Prevents runaway costs, prevents abuse, keeps systems stable. If you see traffic spike, protect backend, throttling prevention, rate limiting belongs at API gateway or Lambda. Graceful degradation, give something, not nothing. Bad behavior, model fails, system crashes, user gets error. Good behavior, primary model fails, fallback model answers, answer might be simpler but system survives. This is graceful degradation. AWS loves this phrase. Fallbacks, your emergency engine. Fallback means you have a secondary model, you switch to it automatically, no user intervention. Examples, strong model, cheaper model, bedrock model, another bedrock model, bedrock SageMaker. Exam signal, keywords, provider outage, model unavailable, high availability, fallback routing. Circuit breaker pattern, stop calling the dead thing. This is very exam-y. What a circuit breaker does. If a service fails repeatedly, you stop calling it, you route around it, you retry later. Why? Because repeatedly calling a broken service increases latency, increases cost, causes cascading failures. Where AWS expects this, often implemented with step functions, retry plus failure counters, conditional branching. Cross-region inference when a whole region sneezes. The idea if region A is slow, region A is down. You route inference to region B. This is cross-region inference. You don't move data blindly. You do it deliberately and controlled. Exam signal. If the question says regional outage, multi-region resilience, high availability across regions, cross-region strategy, resilience edition. You already know Static+1 for prompts. Here's the resilience version. Static, retry rules, limits, fallback order. +1, current health state, model up-down. The rules don't change often, the health signal does. That's how resilient systems adapt without redeploying. One memory story. This locks everything. Hack the hospital emergency room, imagine a hospital ER. Retry plus backoff, doctor knocks once, waits, knocks again. Doesn't bang the door down. Rate limits, only so many patients allowed inside at once. Graceful degradation, senior surgeon unavailable, junior doctor treats the patient. Fallbacks, backup generator when power fails. Circuit breaker, if a room is on fire, you stop sending patients there. Cross-region, if the hospital is closed, ambulances go to the next city. The hospital never promises perfect care. It promises care continues. That's AWS resiliency. Exam compression rules, memorize these. One failure, panic. Repeated failure, circuit breaker. Model down, fallback. Region down, cross-region. Overload, rate limit. Temporary error, retry plus backoff. If an answer, retries forever, hard fails, ignores regional failure. It's wrong. What AWS is really testing here? Not whether you know buzzwords. They're testing whether you think like this. Failure is normal, designed so users barely notice. If your architecture survives failure, degrades gracefully, recovers automatically, AWS will reward it. Perfect. This topic only clicks when you see real failure scenarios and how AWS expects you to survive them. Below are real production-style examples exactly aligned with AIPC01 thinking. No fluff. Each example answers what breaks, what AWS expects you to do, why it's correct. Real example 1, retry plus exponential backoff, temporary failure. Scenario, your app calls a bedrock model. You get occasional 429 too many requests. Bad design, retry immediately, retry forever. This amplifies throttling. Correct AWS design. What happens? First failure, wait 200 misses. Second failure, wait 400 misses. Third failure, wait 800 misses. Then give up or fall back. Where it lives. Lambda retry logic or step functions retry configuration. Exam keywords, temporary failure, avoid overwhelming downstream services, throttling. Retry plus exponential backoff. Real example 2. Rate limiting, traffic spike protection. Scenario, a marketing campaign causes 10 times normal traffic. Model costs explode. Correct AWS design. What happens? API gateway enforces rate limits, excess requests are throttled, backend stays alive. Why AWS wants this: protects cost, prevents cascading failures, stops abuse. Exam keywords, traffic spike, protect backend, throttling control, rate limiting at API gateway. Real example 3, graceful degradation, partial service beats failure. Snatch scenario, your best model becomes slow during peak hours. Bad design, return 500 errors, block users. Correct AWS design. What happens? Primary model fails, router switches to cheaper, simpler model. Answers are less rich, but system survives. Why AWS loves this? Users still get value, system doesn't collapse. Exam keywords, graceful degradation, maintain availability, fallback model routing. Real example 4, circuit breaker, stop calling a dead service. Scenario, a model fails 5 times in a row. Bad design, keep retrying, increase latency, cause cascading failures. Correct AWS design. What happens? Failure counter exceeds threshold, circuit opens, request skip the failing model, traffic goes to fallback, retry later after cooldown. Where AWS expects this: step function, state plus retry, choice logic. Exam keywords, repeated failure, cascading failure prevention, circuit breaker pattern. Real example 5, cross-region inference, region outage. Scenario, AP Southeast-2 Bedrock inference becomes unavailable. Bad design, app crashes, users get errors. Correct AWS design. What happens? Health check fails. Router sends inference to US East 1. System continues. Important nuance. Only inference traffic moves. Data residency rules still respected. Exam keywords, regional outage, multi-region high availability, cross-region inference routing. Real example 6, step functions orchestration, AWS favorite. Scenario, you need retries, fallback, and circuit breaker logic. Correct AWS design. Step functions flow conceptual. 1, call primary model. 2, retry with backoff. If still failing, increment failure counter. 4, if counter exceeds threshold, open circuit. 5, route to fallback. 6, log outcome. Why AWS loves this: visual, declarative, built-in retries, easy to audit. Exam keywords, complex retry logic, stateful orchestration. Step functions. Real example 7, Static+1, Resiliency scenario. You want resilience rules that don't change often, but react to live failures. Pattern, static, retry limits, fallback order, circuit thresholds. +1, dynamic, current model health, region availability. Result, behavior adapts, code stays unchanged. Static rules plus live health signals. 1 memory story, locks all examples. The emergency response city, retry plus backoff, ambulance waits before reattempting entry. Rate limits, ER admits patients gradually. Graceful degradation, specialist unavailable, general doctor treats. Fallbacks, backup hospital equipment activates, circuit breaker, burning building is closed off, cross-region, ambulances reroute to the next city. The city never promises perfect care, it promises care continues. Final exam compression rule. If the question says temporary failure, retries backoff, repeated failure, circuit breaker, traffic spike, rate limiting, model down, fallback, region down, cross-region. Hard fail equals wrong answer. Graceful survival equals correct answer.